All right, here we go. So, Ryan Manley here, ready to talk about my favorite movies of 2020. As we all know, it's been a crazy year. But in the film world, it actually hasn't been theater I know theaters are having troubles. But as far as the films that came out this year, um, there have been some really incredible films that have came out this year, and a lot of them haven't been seen yet by people. There's a lot of films that I've heard that are amazing that I still haven't seen, but I still actually seen a lot of films this year. You know, being in quarantine, I've had a chance to watch films as they become available on Netflix and Hulu and all those different platforms. And then also, I've been lucky enough to have theaters open up near me. They've closed again, some of them, but I've had the chance to go see a lot of films. And since there haven't been a lot of like big blockbuster films, I've actually had a chance to see a lot of indie films. And I feel like it was a really great experience to be able to go to a theater and see a lot of indie films. There were still some big films as well. There are a couple films you've probably already heard of on this list, maybe a few. Some of them have bigger budgets. Some of them, they're a little bit more indie film, I guess you could say, that I still had a chance to see at a theater and I still thought were really good. So I've been doing this every year. I've done a countdown list, but this is the first year I've done it as a video. I just wanted to do a video this year. Most of the time, I put out a post or on the blog or something, but I felt like it would be fun this year to do an actual countdown video. So without further ado, I am going to count down my top 10 best films of 2020. Now, I want you to keep in mind, these are my my top 10 favorite films. These are films that, for those of you who don't know me well, I'm a filmmaker myself. These are films that inspired me. These are films that touched me in some way. Films that I really, they just, they found a place in my heart, I guess you could say, and films that I'll remember for years to come. So maybe there's a film out there that I haven't seen yet that you love. This doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I think this film is better. These are just films I saw this year that I've had a chance to see that I really loved. There are films out there that that are supposed to be really good that I just don't have access to. There's films like Nomadland that I haven't seen yet. I have access to Sound of Metal, but I'm not gonna have a chance to see it. I could watch it, but I don't have time to watch it at the moment because I have a lot going on. So there are other films out there that are supposed to be really good. I haven't gotten to them yet. Some of them coming out in theaters next year, like Greenland, for example. That's supposed to. Well, I believe they actually put it on uh, VOD to rent, but it's like $20, so I'm not gonna have a chance to see that for a bit as well. So without further ado, I'll go do this list. So these are some contenders. These are films that I really liked, films that I felt were really awesome this year. So some of those contenders include The Rental. It was a directorial debut, really good horror film, horror thriller film. That film was awesome. Words on Bathroom Walls. That was a really good coming of age, or rom-com, I guess you could say, about a teenager with schizophrenia. Relic, a really good horror film, metaphorical about dementia. That was an awesome film. I had a chance to see that in theaters. Tenet, the first big film that came out back in theaters before a lot of them shut down again. Tenet, really well done film. I really love Christopher Nolan's work. There's not really a film by him that I don't like. Didn't quite make the top 10, but still really good. Run, a second film by Anish Chaganty. His first film, Searching, was very high up on my list a couple years ago when it came out. I had a chance to go to the Atlanta premiere for that one. Searching is an amazing film. Run, also very good. Didn't quite make the list, but very good film. Hillbilly Elegy. I thought that was good. I know it got a lot of mixed reviews. I enjoyed it. The main thing I enjoyed from it was the performances by Glenn Close and Amy Adams. Incredible performances. I know the script. People had some issues with the script and some other things. They thought it was a little messy, but I really loved the performances in that movie. So that was a honorable mention for me. Happiest season. Um, and these aren't really, contenders because they were contenders, but they aren't on the list. I guess it would be better to call them honorable mentions. Happiest season. That happiest season was on Hulu. Rom-com, Christmas type movie. I really enjoyed that one. Had a chance to watch that one with mom. And Onward, first Pixar movie that came out this year, I believe. Really good. There's another Pixar movie that came out this year that I liked a little bit better. You'll see that here on the list. Spoiler alert, but Onward was also really good. So starting off at number 10. Number 10 goes to The Platform. This film was at TIFF last year, I believe. And then this year it got its debut on Netflix. Um, I believe this was a foreign film. Yeah, it did. Believe it had subtitles. It's been a while since I've seen it. I forget which country it's from, but The Platform, really, really great film. Platform had some amazing production design. Yeah, the production design was just amazing. The acting was really good. The script was very, very well done. For a film that takes place in kind of this contained, smaller area, the production design they put into it, the cinematography, everything about it was really, really good. It kept me on the edge of my seat. That's why The Platform is number 10 on my list. Number 9 goes to Yellow Rose. I believe you could consider this kind of an indie film. The main actress that I don't have her, Ava, maybe. Sorry, that's my cat jumping around. um I forget her full name, and I feel really bad because I love her in Hadestown, the musical. But Yellow Rose, really good movie, really emotional. It really had an emotional impact on me. I had a chance to see this one in theaters. Really, really great drama here, so definitely check this one out if you get a chance. Number 8 is a film I probably will never watch again. And it's called American Murder. Um, American Murder, it's based on the Watts case. It's a documentary, and it's one of the best documentaries I have seen, like, ever. It is the most disturbing film I've seen this year, by far. And it really unsettled me. It was extremely disturbing. But as far as the filmmaking of it, like the process of making this movie, I guess, the way they put it together with real, like, everything was real video clips, everything was real audio clips, and it felt so real. It felt like you were there watching this. And I know a lot of people were watching this on the news a couple years ago. It's not it's not like an old story, like, it's very recent. But American Murder, definitely, um, disturbing, but really well made, and that's why it's on this list. Number 7 goes to Alone. Alone is amazing. Alone is a film I had a chance to see in theaters as well. It is an indie film, I believe you'd say. Pretty sure it's an, indie film, didn't have a huge budget, but it kept me on my seat the entire time, edge of my seat the entire time. It is very creepy. It was very atmospheric. The cinematography was really good for different scenes. The script, it's a very simple story, but the way that it is directed is extremely well done. The acting is really good. The guy in the movie is very creepy and convincing. Alone is a really awesome movie. Hope you all get a chance to see that one. I bought it on Blu-ray, watched it again the other day. Definitely, easy to rewatch because it's a really well done movie. Number 6 goes to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, a film that I was actually looking forward to seeing this year anyway, and I finally found a way to see it because they put it out on Netflix. Viola Davis, Chadwick Boseman, oh my goodness, by far the two top performances of the year. Amazing performances, I gotta say. Viola Davis does amazing. It seems like every time Viola Davis does a film, it just gets better. Um, like she just her performance was amazing in Fences. And then you get this other film by August Wilson, and it is amazing as well. So, some people may not enjoy this film, and I get it because it stays in, one spot pretty much the entire time. The script, not a ton happens in the film, but a lot happens, but a lot doesn't happen at the same time. It just depends how you want to look at it. The dialogue is extremely well written. Again, it's based on a play by August Wilson. It may not be for everyone, but even if you watch it and you don't necessarily care for the story, if it doesn't intrigue your interest, it's not exciting, nothing big huge happens, but it's a very quiet kind of film with really great dialogue and two of the best performances of the year. I really think Viola Davis should get Best Actress for the year. Chadwick Boseman, um so sad he passed away. I think he still deserves the Oscar this year for this film because really well done. Number 5, this is one of the first films I saw this year, before the pandemic happened, and, it was the last time I got to go out to a film with my friend. We went to see this together, before before the pandemic started, and, saw it in IMAX, and it was a January horror film. And a lot of people would say, "Oh, January horror film, probably not that good." And I will admit, when I went to go see this movie, I wasn't expecting it to be that great. But I saw it had like over a 2 hour runtime, which is kind of rare for January horror film, or thriller, I guess you could say. I didn't really think it was that much of a horror film. I'd say it's more of a thriller. But this is a really metaphoric film. Great performance here. Great, cinematography was done in this film. I really loved the opening scene of this film. It really stuck out to me. Invisible Man. It's also, I believe, Rotten Tomatoes ranked it as one of the top horror films of all time now, based on their critic reviews. It's made that list. Really well done. I loved The Invisible Man, and it's a film that I bought on Blu-ray. I will definitely be watching it again. Number 4 goes to I'm Thinking of Ending Things. This is another film that came out on Netflix earlier this year. And I'm Thinking of Ending Things, really, really great movie as well. Like I said, we had a lot of great movies this year. I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's probably the weirdest movie. Well, it's definitely the weirdest movie I've seen this year. Parts of it are a little bit confusing. The ending is pretty crazy, but I'm Thinking of Ending Things still hit me in some way. The ending it was really strange, but it was also kind of powerful and emotional. I'm Thinking of Ending Things, number 4 on the list. Number 3 goes to Pixar's Soul. These last 3 movies, by the way, were shifting like crazy when I was making this list. Number 1, I was pretty set on, but number 2, I'd say number 2, 3, and 4 switched around quite a bit for me, putting them in place. But I put Soul in number 3. So Soul is the new Pixar film. It just came out on Disney Plus. I just had a chance to see it a couple days ago, and it really left an impact on me. It's really inspirational. The animation is beautiful. Pixar always has amazing animation, but there was something about this film, the animation of it, that I just really loved. It was really unique. It reminded me a little bit of Inside Out, and I know a lot of other people are saying that as well. But Soul is a film with a lot of emotional power, and the animation, like I said, it's beautiful. So Soul goes number 3 on my list for this year. Now, number 2 goes to The Prom. Uh, this is a film that got mixed reviews as well. You go on Metacritic and you have some, I believe a couple people gave it a 100. You got reviews a lot lower than that as well. It was a really mixed film. I know there's some controversy with it with the casting. But despite that, The Prom is one of my favorite Broadway musicals, actually. I had a chance to see it in previews, and The Prom is just the story as a whole, the music, everything. It's one of the first Broadway shows I really loved, or musicals I really loved, and it's what got me into Broadway, and really loving musicals. It's really the first musical that that I saw and just loved, and being able to see it come together as a film, I felt like it was really true to the Broadway production. Or um, I saw it actually before it went to Broadway. While they were prepping for Broadway, they did um, a, a premiere here in Atlanta, and I saw it at the Alliance. But The Prom was a great adaptation. I really couldn't ask for anything to be different as far as the adaptation, because it's very faithful to it. Ryan Murphy, I love Ryan Murphy. American Horror Story is my favorite TV series. But seeing The Prom come together, seeing it on the big screen, this is another film I got to see on the big screen, was was probably the most fun I've ever had, watching a movie in a theater. It was so exciting. It was inspirational. It was just a lot of fun watching this movie. The music is great. It is the most entertaining film, I guess I could say, this year. But it's not quite number one. And now it's time to talk about number one. And number one, it's always, it seems like it's always an indie film. I believe in 20, the past 4 years or so. I believe 2015 it was La La Land. And then there was Moonlight. I forget the years exactly. I think it went 2016 was Moonlight. Or no, 2015 was La La Land. It beat Moonlight is what it was. And then we had I forget what 2016 was. I know we had Hereditary in 2018. We had Parasite last year. 2016. What was 2016? And that's really bothering me because I know that it was a film I really enjoyed, and now I can't think of what it is. Oh, Florida Project, I believe, was 2016. I may have got the years mixed up, but anyways. So, wait, Florida Project didn't come out in 2016, did it? This is driving me crazy. Florida Project was 2017. Let's see. I know you all can't wait to to hear my number one this year. Uh, no, La La Land was 2016. So I guess I didn't have one in 2015. So it was La La Land, Florida Project, and then there was Hereditary and Parasite. So 2015, I guess I didn't do a list. But anyways, time for number one, my favorite film of the year, a film that hit me emotionally, a film that just blew me away. Number one goes to Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. Saw it on HBO. It was a film I was looking forward to seeing anyways because it premiered at Sundance and got amazing reviews there. Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always is my number one film of the year. And it's I would probably say it is the best coming of age film I've ever seen. It's quiet. A lot of it doesn't have dialogue. Major portions of the film don't have dialogue. It's a sensitive topic. And it is very, just the way that they put it together was powerful. It really left an impact on me. There's a scene in this movie where the title comes from, never, really, sometimes, always. I didn't know why it was called that till I watched the film, but then I watched the film, and it felt like you were there the whole time. The way they filmed it, the way that um it even showed all the moments without dialogue. It was a film that really hit me in some way. But yeah, that scene in particular really stood out to me. The performances, both performances by I don't know the actress's name, and I feel so bad for that, but the two main actresses in this film were amazing. The chemistry between them, while the chemistry between the actors were great. And it's just a film that, looking back on this year, if I were to think of a film that really hit me in some way, possibly as a inspired filmmaker, seeing the attention to detail in this film, seeing the um just seeing this film, and how I, it's hard to say. It's just so dramatic and emotional for me. It is the number one film of the year for me, just because it's a really amazing film. It's an extraordinarily well done film, and it is my number one film of the year. So those are my top 10 films of the year. Um, and yeah, that's the top 10 films of the year for me. Really love all these films. I felt that it was a great year, honestly, as far as the film world goes. um in every other way, it was a awful year. Literally, the only positive thing I could think of this year was that we had some really great films, real films that'll stick with me for a while. So, no, this video is a little bit long. I'm not sure exactly how. I've just been talking, but thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to doing this again next year.